Funhouse active, king of the palace, rubber like Malcolm, balled up fist in the air to the flashlight, yeah, hands up in the air till they gun me down, I keep it on it, they crunching the numbers, I'm getting wild, young nigga got a fetish for success, if I ain't next and I just leave impression, next to rain on the window pane, puffy plain Jane, let them second guess me, wanna cop the Porsche with the porcelain skin, grip the wheels, let the horses just why they trash the chore on my list? Out of this orbit, I saw with the pen. I'm eating good, Miss Caloric as shit. I sipped the potion and ported it. I on the tide when she poured it. Opportunity knock at the door, then I grin. They rush for the doors, then they open like bliss. Pin stroke, game cold as the fridge. Sound wave for like more than the clicks. Cowabunga, search the word for my shit. Ayy, wait. Been gritty, don't pity, they full thing with me, been real, fuck trending, I'm hype, I'm litty, been this since scrimmage, don't play game with me, I volley these hits like I play tennis, I drink this shit, now I live it, don't pity, I live here at the top of the titty, said I run this shit, how I jot it with the pistol, body flop with the vision, jaw drop when I spit it off top, little bitch, when you need 7 figures, catch the fade when they jibby, that I count it down to the penny wave, ay, heavy is all on my mind, I gotta make that edit, wait, that I might spark that wildfire, rebel when I breach, funhouse active, king of the palace, rubber like Malcolm, balled up fist in the air to the flashlight, yeah, hands up in the air till they gun me down, I keep it on it, they crunching the numbers, I'm bugging out, funhouse active, king of the palace, rubber like Malcolm, balled up fist in the air to the flashlight, yeah, hands up in the air till they gun me down, I keep it on it, they crunching the numbers, I'm bugging out, I just like crashing, really I'm passing. Running from the madness, you catch me, I just want passion, love and attraction, let me do that shit, I just like crashing, really I'm passing, running from the madness, you catch me, I just want passion, love and attraction, let me do that shit. Charge on its last light. Same clothes I'm from last night. Still lit like it's last night. Young living in the fast life. Young. Smoke cloud from the ash pipe. Catch air from the half pipe. I need a centerfold from the shows with the mansion. Chandelier dancing. Counting a Branson. Yeah. Been had hella Franks when it's ballpark figures. Might be in the field, but I came from the trenches. You can tell it's my time, nigga better swing. I do like the charm on my wrist, let me flip. Want me pay the way, I'm the wave, I'm authentic. Sitting courtside, got a sprain, nigga. I run the gang for the gang. Nothing but a thing when I sing. Young Usain, I sprinting. Getting fresh prints. Counting a blessing on blessing on blessing. They call me the reverend, y'all nigga play too much. I've been so gone off the braces, I end my hiatus by sparking that flame. Shit, y'all niggas stay in your lane, young entertained. I'm next to rain, the fuck is you saying? Out of my brain, not from this planet. Hide from the cameras, high up the energy sent to me. From the enemy, that's the advantage. By doing the damage, accounted advances. I buy you my nemesis. This is my genesis. I never had privilege. They took our innocence, but fuck that, I'm young and I'm wild, going ignorant like funhouse active, king of the palace, rubber like Malcolm, balled up fist in the air to the flashlight, yeah, hands up in the air till they gun me down. I keep it on it, they crunching the numbers, I'm getting wild. Funhouse active, king of the palace, rubber like Malcolm, balled up fist in the air to the flashlight, yeah, hands up in the air till they gun me down. I keep it on it, they crunching the numbers, I'm getting wild. Funhouse active. Funhouse active, king of the palace, rubber like Malcolm, balled up fist in the air to the flashlight, yeah, hands up in the air till they gun me down. I keep it on it, they crunching the numbers, I'm getting wild. Young nigga got a fetish for success, if I ain't next and I just leave impression. Next to rain on the window pane, puffy plain Jane, let them second guess me, wanna cop the Porsche with the porcelain skin. Grip the wheels, let the horses just why they trash the chore on my list? Out of this orbit, I saw with the pen. I'm eating good, Miss Caloric as shit. I sipped the potion and ported it. I on the tide when she poured it. Opportunity knock at the door, then I grin. They rush for the doors, then they open like bliss. Pin Stroke game cold as the fridge. Sound wave for like more than the clicks. Cowabunga search the word for my shit.
What is going on, everybody? Wow, man, like this is wild and crazy, man. Like, what is this? Is this May 2023? This can't be November 2023 because Bad Booking hasn't been on in forever. But here we are, we're live, and my name is Chase, CR Media, as you may know me. This is my good friend, Mark, Pro Wrestling Kingpin. Mark, I want you to act like we don't talk on an everyday basis. Okay, and you and I haven't caught up in some time. And I want you to tell me, first I want you to say what's up, but then I want you to tell me what you've been up to the past few months, man.
Yo, what's going on, everybody? Thanks for joining. It's been a hiatus. Welcome to let's just call this the unofficial season 2 since we were in such a hiatus. Let's just go from there. Season 2 of Bad Booking, I guess.
You go. The season premiere.
I don't know. That's what we'll call it. Season 2, season premiere of Bad Booking here, where we talk about the landscape of professional wrestling. Thank you, David, for the return. As far as me, man, doing the same stuff. Doing my doing a lot of card pack openings, working on my house. I live in the suburbs now, and I'm technically not in Chicago anymore, so that's kind of cool. But yeah, just dealing with all my my cards, trying to play content as much as I can. Definitely missed the show. Glad we're back. A lot of things to talk about. What about you? What's going on with you?
Same, brother. Like, I still work a 9-to-5 job. I own 2 businesses, one of them being a wrestling promotion. And, so yeah, like, life is crazy. Life is nuts. And, I wouldn't have it any other way. So
hell yeah. How's the promotion going?
It's good, man. I'll tell you what, let me find a way to say this without the promotion. Like it's so far, I mean, because obviously we haven't ran our first show yet. We are running our first show in March. Actually, we're going to announce the exact date on Facebook tomorrow. So if you guys haven't already, go check out Fountain City Pro in Kansas City. Give them a like, a follow, a share. I would greatly appreciate it. Even if you are not in the Kansas City area, it would mean a lot to me. Anyways, so I feel like I'm going to have a lot more fun once we start running the shows. Once I'm able to start putting shows together, putting on live shows for a good crowd and et cetera, and all that good stuff, I think I'll feel a lot better then. Like right now, I'm just dealing with a plethora of, like, do I say politics? I don't know what to call it. It's just weird, I mean, it's like, Big Country Matt Stockdale, appreciate you tuning in. But like I said, it's not politics, so to speak. It's just, if you own a Italian restaurant and there's another Italian restaurant in a 50-mile radius, they're going to get mad because you're opening up shop, and it is what it is. But that's what I'm dealing with right now. I just can't wait to get to the wrestling part of it. You know what I mean? I can't wait to get past all the egos, all the bullshit, everybody whining and crying and all this other stuff. I want to get to the good stuff. So
makes sense.
That is how it's going.
Well, I'm excited to hear all about it, man, once you finally get there. So it's really cool.
I'm excited for it, man. I am, like I said, it couldn't get here quick enough. Can't wait to make the announcement. Can't wait to, all their stuff. I've already reached out to talent, already got people booked, already got most of my card, if not all of my card done. Trying to be as budget friendly as I possibly could. Obviously, for as much as I would love to have, the indie god Matt Cardona, Brian Keith, all these indie darlings. Unfortunately, the checkbook doesn't allow for it. So, I mean, only a few surprises. You know what I mean?
I mean, you could book the Pro Wrestling Kingpin anytime you want. You just gotta let me know. You know what I'm saying? Give you a discount. Give you a discount anytime.
Who were you trained by?
Self-trained, man. You know what I'm saying? The streets of Chicago. You know what I mean? Chicago made, just like Chicago made punk.
So, now that that's out of the way, for those that don't remember this show or, it's been a while, let's refresh your memory just a little bit. Mark and I love to talk about what's happening in the current era of wrestling on the mainstream side. Everybody has a podcast or a show for WWE, AEW, and all that other stuff. And this is just another one of those shows.
Only better.
Only better. That's right. Because you get to hear me and Mark's opinion on it. So that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna dive into this, and it's crazy, Mark, that the very first episode we were talking about the bloodline. In fact, just to take everybody down a stroll down memory lane, if you will, let's talk about the Dynamite post show. The Dynamite post show, Mark and I would stray off topic a little bit, and we would go from talking about AEW Dynamite, we'd talk about WWE, and we would talk about the bloodline, which led to the birth of this show. And it seems like every single time we had to take a week off or take 2 weeks off or take 2 months off or take 4 months off, we're always talking about the bloodline, because here we are again, and I'm going to talk about the bloodline.
They're one of the greatest factions of all time. Love it or hate it.
I love it or hate it. It is still one of the greatest factions of all time. Just based off of the fact that it has Roman Reigns, who's looks like it's going to surpass 1,200 days. What if he keeps the title to WrestleMania 40, which it looks like he's going to, does that break Hogan's record? I can't remember.
I think it might, which is why, I think it does, which is why, we'll talk about it, but that's where the whole Cody thing comes in. I think that's when they'll find out that as long as he beats Cody Rhodes or Hulk Hogan's record, then Cody will win. And yes, I think Cody is definitely going to WrestleMania.
Agreed. I don't think
we've been saying that for a year. So
I don't think we need to talk. I don't think we need to, discuss that too much. I don't think it was LA Knight. I don't think it, it was anybody else. I think it's always been Cody since Cody came in.
Yep.
And I think that was kind of like, obviously we as fans want to sit there and make fun of, or not make fun of, but, I've heard fans make fun of Cody about, leaving AEW, coming to WWE. Like that whole Roman sting, you went and created a company you couldn't get over. So you left that company, came back here, and he couldn't beat Roman. And I think that Roman stayed, or Cody stayed in that position because he knew like it was going to happen. I think that's what Cody wants to, Alex says that he'll be a couple hundred days off. He needs around.
I think it is a comer. Yeah, I just looked it up. So his title reign was 1,474 days from 1984 to 1988. Roman Reigns currently has how many days?
Do you know who he lost it to in 1988?
No, I was born in 1989.
I don't. Well, I was born in 88, but of course, I don't remember seeing it. But without Googling it, let's go off the cuff here. Was it Macho Man or was it Ultimate Warrior?
I would say Ultimate Warrior. That's my guess.
Chat, does the chat know?
That's my guess.
Alex says he knows. So
currently, Roman Reigns is at 1,163 days, according to Google.
Now, Alex 17352, is that Alex Barbero from like Discord? And I've always wondered that. I don't know if Andre. It was Andre.
Oh, was it Andre?
Interesting. I didn't know Andre beat him. Interesting.
Yep. Couldn't tell you. Like I said, I was born in 1989, so who knows? And I hate Hulk Hogan, so I really don't care that much to go and research and look at his matches and what's the title reign. And
it's history, brother. It's history.
Yeah, I don't care.
So
too much. But yeah, so it looks like Roman Reigns will not be Hulk Hogan's record. If I still truly believe, like I said a year ago when you and I went into it, I still think Cody Rhodes wins at this year's WrestleMania, and I think they run it back at the following year WrestleMania because they do love their, their 3 matches. But if WWE outweighs the him breaking Hulk Hogan's championship more than Cody Rhodes getting it, then I could definitely see Roman Reigns fucking winning again, considering they have a whole nother World Heavyweight Championship. So it would not shock me if Cody loses again.
yeah, I wouldn't be shocked either.
Yeah.
It's hard to say exactly nowadays what shocks me and what doesn't, in that aspect. Now, what has, we talked about, refresh my memory here. So we talked about Jay turning.
Mm-hmm.
Did we talk around SummerSlam or after SummerSlam, after Jay and Roman had the match and Jimmy turned on Jay?
Nope.
And if I remember correctly, I think one of us or a few of us, because there used to be more of us, but
Mm-hmm. Stay on track. Stay on track.
Yeah.
Stay on track.
One or a few of us mentioned that there was a possibility that Jimmy turned on Jay.
Mm-hmm.
And that happened. So since Jay and Roman's match and Jimmy turned on Jay, what do you think? How have you looked at the trajectory of the Bloodline storyline? I know I fucked that word up still. It took me 3 times to get it out and I still fucked it up. But what do you think about the overall plan of the Bloodline story?
Bloodline. I mean, I still truly enjoy it. It's still the best story in wrestling, in my opinion. I like the fact that they still have found a way to keep us engaged, even though we have multiple episodes of us saying how stale it was getting, what's going to happen, when they're going to break up, if it's too much, all that stuff. But it continually keeps me engaged, which is what I like. I like that they separated him and put him on Raw, trying to give him giving him a singles push away from Roman. I do like how, which one I always forget, Jay or Jimmy? Jimmy is the one with the Bloodline still, right?
Yes, because the other one is
main event Jay.
Jay.
Yeah, okay, there we go. All right, so I like how Jimmy is now just like trying to get back in the good graces of Roman Reigns and doing all this extra shit and Bloodline forever, and I never turned on you, and I kind of like it because he's still trying to kiss his ass, and I like it. I could see how Roman Reigns is still that top guy, and it's still intriguing. And on the other side, I love how main event Jay is trying to make a name for himself. He's doing big time matches. He was tag team champions with Cody Rhodes on Raw. I like it, and it's still the top story in all of pro wrestling, and they've managed to keep it going for so long.
Agreed.
So.
The thing that I like most is what Alex says here. About his idea of, hey, they're gonna keep screwing each other. Eventually, they will go one-on-one at WrestleMania. I think that was the idea all along with Jimmy turning on Jay and costing Jay that. You think from SummerSlam to WrestleMania, that's a long time, and you've got to keep these two guys away from each other for that long. So I love how Alex brought that up. That's why Jay went to Raw. Jimmy stays on SmackDown. They kind of separate from each other for the most part because, as Mark knows, they don't abide by the rules of the draft all the time. Only sometimes.
The draft is stupid.
So that keeps them kind of away from each other, but kind of builds that suspense. And I think at some point I think at WrestleMania it comes to a clash, Jimmy versus Jay, which will be great.
That's what they've always wanted. It's gonna be great. King Jericho's the GOAT. It's gonna be great. It's what we always wanted to see, what they always wanted to have in their life. So I think that would be a great story, a full circle type of moment for them. So that's what.
Absolutely. Kind of around that time that we were talking about, SummerSlam and Jimmy and Jay, we talked a lot about Judgment Day and Damian Priest. I kind of feel like, this is my opinion when I'm watching WWE. I feel like they're taking the Judgment Day and they're trying to push the Judgment Day as hard as they can to be like the Bloodline, but it just doesn't feel like that to me. And I don't know if it's, I mean, I love Dominic. I think Dominic's great. I think Rhea's one of the best, if not the best female in WWE right now, and probably all of wrestling. I obviously love Finn Balor. Like Damian Priest. There's nothing against that team, but I just feel like I don't feel like they're ever going to look or be as dominant or powerful to me as the Bloodline is. But I feel like WWE is trying really hard to make that comparison, make that push.
I have to disagree as far as WWE trying to make the comparison because they were never like the Bloodline. The Bloodline, Roman was the guy, and everyone fall in line.
Yeah, yeah.
And the
I mean,
Judgment
them
Day
together as a faction. Them together as a faction. Judgment Day, Judgment Day Bloodline.
No, I got you that. But in the Judgment Day, it was never going to be, in my opinion, as long as the Bloodline or as powerful as the Bloodline, because the Judgment Day was always, there is no quote unquote leaders, even though Rhea Ripley's without a doubt the freaking leader. But the whole mantra was, she is a leader. Fight me. The Judgment Day was never on that type of level. There was always like, there are no leaders. We're all equal. We're all the ones that never got the opportunities. We're all the ones that were going to make our own opportunities. And that in itself is always going to be their downfall, because at the end of the day, what's up, Anthony? At the end of the day, they were always going to end up turning on each other anyway, because they're always going to look out for numero uno. And that's what it is. Despite Rhea Ripley trying to slap them, oh, let's get back on track. Let's do this. Let's do that. Damian Priest is looking out for numero uno, right? Finn Balor looking out for numero uno. You already see it. We've been seeing it for months and months and months. They all want that World Heavyweight Championship. They all want to be that number one person. And that's why they will never have the longevity of the Bloodline. But they will be powerful. They've always been powerful. They're clearly the other it faction. But it's Bloodline and everyone else. And it'll always be that way in this era.
Yeah. When do you think Damian Priest is going to cash in?
After WrestleMania.
You think so?
I think either WrestleMania or right after. Maybe like the Monday Night Raw after. I think he holds it for a while.
So help me clarify something. Since, because the rule of the Money in the Bank used to be, if you win it, you have until WrestleMania to cash in. Now you have until the new Money in the Bank pay-per-view to cash in this time, right?
Yes,
so they
the full year, and now they could cash in on any title, as we saw last year. That nonsense. This might be just the fan in me and like the fantasy booking.
That will never
happen
again. Ever.
Hope so.
I want to clip that. I'm going to save it. I'm going to put it on a cloud drive to where I have it forever. And if I'm ever wrong, I'll eat my words. I'll pay somebody the bet, whatever it is. But I'm telling you right now, there is never going to be another cash in on a United States Intercontinental.
I freaking hope so, bro.
Could you see somebody cashing in on Gunther?
I think it might be the only way, because Gunther has been built up so like this unbeatable force. You might have to do it after he makes a successful title defense and someone comes in after he just went through a grueling match. I mean, who knows? I mean, I hope not. I really hope not. I really hope not. That's just
I think the right call is Finn wins the world title and Damian cashes in on Finn. That's what I think.
The right call. But so like I said, going back to what I was saying earlier, this is just a fan in me. What I would really love to see is, because you see Cody Rhodes has all these problems with Judgment Day, right? And he had problems before with the Bloodline.
Don't say it.
What happens if Cody Rhodes beats Roman Reigns and he's having his celebration? And
okay. Never mind. Okay.
No. Just listen.
No, I like this a lot better.
He's having a celebration. The fucking fireworks are going off. They're giving you all out they're closing off the telecast, and then boom, here comes Damian Priest, and that's like another fuck you moment to Cody Rhodes, that Damian Priest has a successful cash in to Cody Rhodes, and Cody Rhodes is still fucking ends up chasing.
Yeah,
which I kind of dig. I kind of dig, to be honest, because that puts a legitimate crazy feud right away.
It
But
does. But what would be if you really like if you're trying to hurt Cody's feelings, it wouldn't be when Cody wins. It would be when Damian comes in and does what Seth did to Brock and Roman, makes it a triple
Good.
threat. So that way
Good.
Cody never won.
Good.
And so Cody doesn't get to finish the story, and he doesn't get beat by Roman.
You
But-
could do that. I do just like the whole celebration, and we're about to leave the damn telecast. It's like, all right, thank you for watching this amazing WrestleMania, and then boop.
Where I thought you were going with it is that Cody beats Damian for the briefcase, which I fucking can't stand. I cannot stand when people. I thought that's what you were gonna say was.
No.
That's why I was like, no, don't do that. But
no. I think WWE is gonna give Priest his flowers because he's done so well for the past couple of years with the Bad Bunny training, the Bad Bunny matches, helping with the Puerto Rico stuff. He's been in these prime time storylines for them. I think they are going to give him his flowers in some way.
I think so too, and I think they do it.
Yeah.
I think they do it the same way like WWE did with Batista. You know, Batista played the monkey role in Evolution. You know, he was the tool guy until they finally said, oh, now we're gonna have him win the Royal Rumble and turn on Triple H. I can see the same thing here with Damian and Finn. So,
I mean, like Graves says here, I mean, that could downplay the importance of him beating Roman, though, which I definitely could agree on that. And I think ultimately he might cash in on Rollins. I think that's the overall play. Like I said, that was just a fan in me. I would just love to just be like, you know, fuck you, Cody. Here comes Priest. You know, that's just a fan of me. I don't think WWE would ever really pull a trigger. I think Cody wins.
Like that. I don't like that.
You don't like what?
The fan in me wants Cody to win.
Oh, well, he left AEW. Fuck that guy. Just I don't know. I'm just feeding into the masses here, bro. You know?
I know.
But yeah, you know, that's just a fan of me. Like I just want to see just like those type of storylines where it's like, yeah, fuck off, dude. You're gonna still chase. You thought you were gonna be the guy. Finally, you're not. You know what I mean? Like that's just me. But
yeah,
each his own.
No, I
that's how I personally would write it. That's how I would write it. That's just me.
I said it months ago. I'll say it again. The way I would write it is Finn wins. He beats Seth either in a triple threat match or one-on-one, no matter how it is. Finn beats Seth, finally gets his revenge from 2016 with the Universal Championship, only to hold it for a short period of time again because Damian cashes in on him and wins the World Heavyweight Championship.
That's a good one too. Like either of those would work, and I would be satisfied as a fan. Like I would love both of those stories, 100%.
Or if Damian tries to cash in, you get JD McDonough costing him the spot.
This JD McDonough, like, is he with them? Is he not? Are they still going to just keep him as like? Yeah. It's just crazy.
Well, there's obviously a lot of friction between Damian and JD McDonough, so they're not trying to do it. That's why at some point JD McDonough's role is going to play into that briefcase and play into Finn, and I just think it all fits really well, and it's a great
honorary Oos. Oh my god, that was perfect, Alex. Yes. That was perfect.
Yes,
perfect.
I know a lot of people wanted Finn to win at SummerSlam. I just felt like it was too early for Seth's title run. For Seth, the only way I think that could have worked, and you and I had discussed it around that time, is because Rollins was going from Raw to NXT to SmackDown to house shows. He was their workhorse champion.
He was defending so many times leading up to it. Yep.
Yes. And I felt like that could have been a great story to tell is that Seth pushed his body just too much and he wasn't able to finish the job against somebody like Finn Balor, and then Damian Priest cashes in or something. You know, I think that would have worked out great. And it's crazy. We always talk about like SummerSlam and WrestleMania and Royal Rumble, one of WWE's big 4 pay-per-views, although I guess an argument could be made that it's not really one of WWE's big 4 pay-per-views anymore because doesn't really live up to the hype, but we are getting ready for Survivor Series. Now Survivor
Series was
Series
good last year. They had the War Games last year.
yes.
So
Yeah, they introduced War Games to the main
Mhm.
roster. And Survivor Series has kind of taken that mantle, and it's great. This year we're gonna get Cody, Jimmy. I'm drawing blanks on the other two guys already. Seth Rollins
Cody, Jimmy, Seth Rollins,
and Sami Zayn
Sami Zayn, yep, versus
the Judgment Day. And that's going to be the War Games this year.
Well, it's the Judgment Day and JD McDonough.
True.
Don't piss off Damian Priest now. He watches the show religiously.
Yep. Absolutely. Yeah. So, which is great because Cody was injured last year for Survivor Series. It works out this year. Obviously, War Games is a special place in Cody's heart because it was his dad's creation. And he has not got to partake in a War Games match. He got to partake in a Blood and Guts match, which is a mimicked version of the War Games. Right. But this year, it's going to be a little bit different. What else is interesting, and Mark can attest to this, Survivor Series is going to be in your backyard, my friend.
I'll be there.
Almost literally, what, like a 20-minute drive?
Now, unfortunately.
Now? Was it shorter before?
Yeah, it was. Now I'm in the burbs, so it's like 25 minutes.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
So, and there is obviously a lot of discussion about a certain individual who left AEW.
I'm just kidding. I don't have the shirt on.
I know, but you've got the Chicago themed AEW on, which is the same thing. So, but obviously, I can't remember if we discussed, him leaving AEW and all that stuff that happened. Now there's talk of him coming to WWE. Is he coming, Mark?
I'm gonna say no. I think he's just too much of a liability for the company. He's just too much of a fucking piece of crap. The fan in me though, I hope so. Be amazing.
So I'm going to disagree with you for a couple of reasons. Number one, you can't compare AEW's business practices to WWE. It's not the same thing.
Of course.
So, and I think Phil Brooks knows that. I think he knows he can't walk into WWE and do the same shit in WWE that he did in AEW and get away with it, right? By the way, Cody didn't fight in the Blood and Guts match. That's actually very true. God, he didn't, did he? I thought maybe he might have been in the first one, but I was sitting there thinking, I was like, I think that was anyways.
Phil Brooks.
Phil Brooks. I think Phil Brooks knows that he can't get away with the same stuff in WWE that he could get away with in AEW. I think Phil Brooks is back in full on wrestling mode. Which means he's very passionate about it. He loves it very much. I think he went through a short period of time for a few years where he didn't love it. He didn't like it. He didn't enjoy it. So that's why anytime the talk of him coming back into it just didn't seem plausible because he just didn't enjoy it. Now he's back in that enjoy wrestling mode. And I think that he knows that he could make a run at it. Here's the other thing. I've never looked at CM Punk as being like the drama stirrer. You know what I mean? Punk is very private. He keeps everything in house. I don't think Punk comes out and I'm not saying that Punk is not a problem. I think that Punk has some issues that just flow a little bit differently in AEW than they would in WWE. And I don't think that Punk is the type of person to go, air all that stuff out or create drama or whatever. That being said, he had made a post about in the 80s, a territory that decided, two guys got into a fight, real life backstage. They wound up, and this was when everybody was like, oh, Punk is going to get fired. He's not coming back, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. to AEW earlier this year after Brawl Out, right? Punk comes back after, that Instagram post kind of, implying that him and Kenny and the Bucks were willing to work together to do business. You're a comic book fan. He just posted maybe today or yesterday or whenever, Dr. Doom and Kang the Conqueror shaking hands from the comics.
Oh.
So what I got from that was, he's willing to do business with another evil individual to work together, so to speak. I don't know. Punk is not the type to go on social media and stir the pot. I just find that very interesting. So I think there's a possibility. Do I think it's actually going to happen? I don't know, man. But I think
anything's possible. I mean,
I just
don't know. I don't know. It's just so hard for me to just say that he's going to be there. I mean, I hope he does. I mean, I'll be there. So that means I'm two of his returns. I mean,
you're going to be at Survivor Series?
Yeah, I went to his return when he came back Rampage, and fuck it. I mean, if he's there at Survivor Series, and boom, got that too. So
yeah. I think it would be cool to feed him to Roman Reigns, to add to Roman Reigns' like if you go back to the Colt Cabana podcast, the infamous one after he was released by WWE, he talked about how great of an athlete Seth and John was in the Shield, and how he recommended the Shield to Vince, but he wanted it to be Seth, Dean Ambrose, and Chris Hero. And WWE elected to go with Roman, and remember in that podcast, him and Colt Cabana talked about how Vince wanted him to make Roman look really strong. I just think it would be kind of poetic for Mr. Brooks to come back to WWE and get to get demolished by the tribal chief
and make him look really strong,
huh? Speaking of looking strong, the LWO, man, was looking strong until Crown Jewel. Logan Paul, your new United States champion.
How do you feel?
Hey, man,
that was the question I wanted to ask you tonight. How do you feel about that? Him being champion.
I don't mind it. I'll tell you what, man, it just depends on who you are. Like, we've all done dumb stuff when we were young. For everybody to act like, Logan Paul is this horrible individual because of something he did when he was young. By that take, we'd all be horrible individuals, right? You give any kind of kid that type of exposure and money, like they're going to do dumb stuff. They're going to say dumb things, and it's going to bring out the worst in people sometimes. I'm not saying all the time, but sometimes. So I don't Logan has done a lot. I mean, and John Hennigan, John Morrison, Johnny Nitro, etc. is one of my favorites in wrestling. I love that dude. I think he's extremely talented. I thought it was kind of a low jab, like he mentioned on Chris Van Vliet's podcast like earlier this year, that of course Logan Paul's good. He gets to train with Shawn Michaels, 4 days a week. Yeah, anybody would be good if they got to. And I get that, that's fine, but I just don't know a lot of other celebrities that could put in the work that Logan and Bad Bunny have done. Do you think Drew Carey put in that much work when he had a spot in the Royal Rumble? Granted, it's Drew Carey, but you get what I'm saying. Right. Are you picking up what I'm putting down?
100%. I think
you know what I mean. When WWE would go to celebrities and hand them money, they were just like, okay, what do I do? And some of these guys are like, hey, I want to learn, I want to train, I want to better myself to help better the product or whatever, and you look at some of the matches that WWE has put on. I mean, we're not talking like New Japan or AEW or Joshua or anything else like that. You know what I mean? We're just strictly talking WWE. you look at WWE's best matches this year, some of those matches contain Bad Bunny and Logan Paul. Like, so I don't hate it, man. I don't at all. Like I said, I know there's a lot of people who are, he didn't earn it, or he's not a whatever. Okay. All right.
I don't hate it either. I go back and forth from it. I mean, I don't think he's not putting in the work. Obviously, if he's training with Shawn Michaels and he's taking the time, then he's putting in the work, man. I mean, so that was just Johnny Impact. That was just a stupid comment. That was just unnecessary. A lot of haterade in that comment, if you ask me. But,
rightfully so. I mean,
yeah.
he's one of the most talented individuals, and he's been let go by WWE twice.
Yeah,
like
I mean,
but
so that's the whole other part of me that's conflicted. I mean, there's other guys that are there that could have used opportunity. Like it's I think it's asinine that excuse me. I think it's asinine that other people hadn't even held the opportunity to hold a title, and he has come in as a quote unquote celebrity. Now apparently full time, but we'll see. But a quote unquote celebrity, and he has a championship. So I mean, that's the only aspect of it that it's hard to swallow for other people, but at the same time, I mean, he's giving it more exposure. You see his fucking photo shoots. I mean, he's putting more eyes on the product. I mean, that's just nuts to me. So I mean,
like
I think he'll be a perfect heel with the championship. I think he'll be fun.
Yeah.
But yeah,
like for example, when he did that elbow drop to Roman through the table and like clipped it and posted it or live streamed it or whatever he did, and it got like 100 million views in like a matter of days. What's that going to do for Ricochet when Ricochet beats him? You know what I mean? What's it going to do for Chad Gable if Chad Gable and him fight and Chad Gable beats him? You know, like
right.
All the different possibilities that we could look at of what could happen, with the exposure that he brings. Like I said, I don't look too much into the whole like, hey, there's so many guys. Because the reality is, no matter how much we want to try and recreate this idea that the Intercontinental and United States Championship puts you on some pedestal, it doesn't. Like, I mean, yes, don't get me wrong. Like, yes, it puts you on a pedestal. Like, you're in the same names as guys like Dusty Rhodes and the Honky Tonk Man with the Intercontinental title and stuff like that. But just because you didn't win the United States title or the Intercontinental title doesn't mean that you cannot take the next step into becoming a big star. And the same thing could be said, just because you did win the Intercontinental title and just because you did win the United States title doesn't mean that you are going to surpass some of these people that aren't going to win it. Well, prime example, let's talk about LA Knight. LA Knight, man, hottest thing in WWE right now. I mean, without question. And did LA Knight win the Intercontinental title? Did he win the US? I don't think he did. No, he didn't.
No.
Yeah. So
he hasn't won anything.
Yeah. So and like I said, that's not going to do anything to. Nobody's going to go, well, they stumped LA Knight's growth and they held LA Knight down because they gave Logan Paul the United States title and LA Knight didn't, but LA Knight is in the main event and he's the hottest selling thing and he's the hottest thing going right now. So I don't think that I don't think it matters. And that's why I'm cool with it. I do see here, kind of sticking on the LWO kind of conversation and, we were going to talk about the Santos Escobar term, but we kind of got into the Logan Paul thing. You had on here Carlito officially back, takes an L in his first match on SmackDown. I am kind of, I don't want to be the negative Nancy. I don't want to be the small town, small-minded moron. Only some people will get that. Only certain people that I care about that listen to this show will understand that reference. But if it gets to that point, I think that Carlito is at a position now to where when they brought him back, like, I think it's cool that they brought him back, but they're not going to bring him back for a situation where they're like, hey, we're going to push Carlito to a main event spot. Like, just because we're all super excited that Carlito's back doesn't mean that Carlito's going to be LA Knight. Because, like, it's cool, but it's just, I'm happy that he got a return and he got an opportunity to come back. But I'm not going to be shocked if WWE just lets him kind of. I feel like WWE only brought him back because they felt like there was a lot of like talk amongst like the fans and stuff. Like, hey, we want to see Carlito back. Like, man, why'd you bring Carlito back one time and we haven't seen him since? So WWE was like, okay, well, we'll bring him back. But just as like we've seen in the past with WWE, sometimes when they do that, they don't really have anything for those people.
Agreed.
So,
and I think, and he's been officially signed since he came back at Backlash, because he made an announcement at one of his final indie shows that he showed up that it was official. Yeah. And I think and WWE just didn't have a plan for him this entire time, which is why it took so long. My whole thing is that if you waited this long and this is how you brought him back, which is fine with the LWO, it's great. And like Alex says, it sucked, but it worked for the storyline. I agree. But it's like the fans want to get behind him and you bring him to a loss. I mean, at this point, I would have rather just seen a squash match and let him do his thing. And you know how much I hate squash matches. You know what I mean? Like it's just as a fan, I'm just like, okay, I'm kind of disappointed. They changed his music, which is shitty. I think his music's really shitty. I think him taking a loss on SmackDown is really shitty. I don't know. It's like, what are you going to do with him? So it works for the storyline. We'll see where it goes. LWO was hot. They didn't capitalize on a lot of things, in my opinion. I think they could have done more. But, I mean, we'll see where it goes now. I mean, I'm glad that I really enjoyed the Santos Escobar turn. So we could see where it goes. I thought that was pretty brutal. The attack, the I love you, the respect that they had for each other. I thought that was really sick. I thought it was awesome. So we'll see where the LWO goes from here. But, I mean, in regards to Carlito, who knows? He's strictly there for fanfare, in my opinion, right now, from what it looks like.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, because that's exactly what happened. After Backlash, there was a lot of people that were like, but let's talk about that. So Backlash, you know, how hot that crowd was, how behind that crowd was on everything. But let's look at a couple of things. You've got Selena Vega. Selena Vega is in the same territory right now as Rhea Ripley. Do you think, despite that humongous reaction that she got at Backlash, do you think she's more over than Rhea Ripley?
No, not at all. And that wasn't the point.
Yeah, I know.
The whole point is no one expected her to win. Everyone knew that she was just going to lose.
Yep.
But the crowd reaction should have done something. We're like, okay, maybe we have something here with Zelina that we didn't see before. Let's see what she can do. And you could have put her in. You didn't have to give her a title, but you could have put her in any type of meaningful matches to see what they got. And that's my whole point of dropping the ball, which with the immense crowd reaction that she got, I mean, her biggest ceiling was that night. After that, it's just been, I'm rolling with the LWO. She was not in any meaningful matches. I think you dropped the ball. I think you probably could have seen, maybe you could have had another star there, and you don't know.
I think so, but I think that, like I said, I think it's just hard to do when you're in Rhea Ripley's area. You know what I mean? Like, could they have taken her out of the LWO and maybe putting her on Raw and maybe seen like how she'd fare against the likes of Io Sky, Asuka, Bianca Belair, you know, something like that.
I think maybe, but the thing is, the LWO is where she belonged, just because that's how the whole fan got behind her. And I think taking her out of the LWO, they didn't know what to do with her. I think that's part of the problem. It's like, who is she without the LWO? Remember how I was saying back in AEW, who is Wardlow without MJF? It's kind of like the same situation.
Yeah.
You know?
Kind of sticking to, you know, what they've got. You know, I mentioned it, you know, Damage Control. Alex wants to know, do you think that this is potentially Adam Copeland's final year, or how long do you think he'll go? We're going to get into that. We're going to get into that, Alex. We'll come back to that. I know I said I would bounce around a little bit, but I think I'm just going straight down the list.
No big
So
deal.
we're gonna jump into AEW here in a moment. But we're gonna talk about Damage Control. Kairi Sane shows up at Crown Jewel, joins, and then Asuka joins. What do you think is happening with Damage Control?
Man, it's almost like a few months ago we were talking about how they're done. Triple H needs to say that this was a failed project, that they should break up, and now they're just adding to it. I don't know. I mean, I could see maybe Asuka and Kairi Sane and Io Sky maybe taking over, maybe doing some type of kicking out Bailey eventually. I think that's the play that they're gonna go, which is why they're referencing how she beat the shit out of Kairi Sane. But for now, it seems like they're the most dominant female faction that we've seen in ever. I mean, as of right now. So
Agreed.
but I think that's
I
ultimately what the end game is. I think they're gonna kick Bailey out. They're done with her shit.
Yep. I was sitting there thinking about that myself, and I was like, well, I think how everybody's being like real chummy, buddy with each other, other than Bailey, I think that's where we could see Bailey kind of make the exit, or them make the exit for Bailey.
Yeah.
We kind of touched on Survivor Series a little bit. Well, I had mentioned earlier when we were talking about Survivor Series, War Games, CM Punk, all that other stuff. Oh, let's remove the CM Punk aspect out of it, because obviously, like, if CM Punk debuts this year, that'll be pretty big for WWE, right?
Right.
I mean, it would be pretty big for a WWE event. But we know that like Triple H isn't afraid to pull in like big surprise returns at places that aren't the big four. So let's completely remove CM Punk out of it. Do you still think, with the way the Survivor Series is shaping up, do you still look at Survivor Series as a big four pay-per-view?
I've always have. It wasn't obviously top tier. It got very stale real quick. I think when they did Survivor Series back when NXT was involved, I think that was one of the most fun Survivor Series in a long time. If you remember that was 3, maybe 4 years ago. Okay.
Came down to Keith. Adam Cole beat Daniel Bryan in a one-on-one match in SmackDown prior to Survivor Series. And then like the Survivor Series teams, it came down to Roman and Keith Lee. I thought that was huge. I loved that Survivor Series.
Yeah, I thought that was one of my favorite Survivor Series in a long time at that point. But Survivor Series, I think will always be a big four. I think War Games aspect is a lot of help now. It's more intriguing. You get the double cage, who's gonna fight who. We already got the men's. So yeah, I still think Survivor Series is up there. It's still a top four. Growing up, though that was one of the big pay-per-views. I think it still remains. So
yeah,
it's still gonna be a big time field, is what I'm saying.
I wish that. Obviously, like with the, you'll have your own opinions on the draft, and that's fine, but kind of like pushing those like strong opinions about the draft to the side. I don't necessarily like the brand warfare as Survivor Series, just because like the characters we watch on a weekly basis are very egotistical. You know what I mean? Like in wrestling, the story is everybody wants to be the best, right? So it's just weird to watch these guys beat the shit out of each other every week, and then 1 month out of the year they're like, hey, we got to come together because SmackDown's trying to take over our Raw. Like, and in reality, like, it's like, okay, other than this month, every other all 11 months of the year, you've always been about yourself and you don't really care. Like if Raw or SmackDown is succeeding or whatever, you're worried about being the best and worried about winning the title and et cetera and all that good stuff. And then all of a sudden Survivor Series comes around and then you flip on a switch and you're like, Raw can't take us down. We got to prove we're number one. And it's like, I'm not into it. And Alex says they ain't even doing the brand warfare anymore, which is cool. I'm totally okay with.
I mean, that's fine. And I mean, and even though Chase told me to push it to a side, they don't fucking follow the damn brand split anyway. So who gives a fuck? So I don't care. Although, if they want to do brand warfare, I would only like it if they do bring back NXT, since NXT is back up to a top tier show again. I think it's very entertaining. I don't know if you watch it all the
I
time.
I love it. I always watch it.
I
But
think it's a great show. I think it's a great show.
I do think it's a great show, but I just don't know. It's and I think I think my problem is like admitting my fault here.
It's better than Raw.
I
Just
think
saying.
that because 2019, like Black and Gold was so
good. So good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Agreed.
I just feel like
I mean,
yes, they have come a long way, but I
agree.
still don't think that they are anywhere near where they were then. So it's kind of hard to be like
they're not, but I am more entertained watching NXT than I am Monday Night Raw. Just saying.
Interesting.
Monday Night Raw is too long. Number one. I mean, everyone's been saying it for. I think they need to go back down to 2 hours, condense it a little bit, and cut down on the promo. There's time. They open a show with like a 20 to 25-minute promo almost every week. Look at the time. If you are watching it live without fucking fast forwarding it like I do, because I record it, you're watching a 25-minute promo to start the show.
I
Just
agree.
watch it. Just time it.
I agree. I think Raw's big issue is that they don't have like the star power on Raw that they do on SmackDown. And I think that's another huge issue that they've always had with the draft. Is that they don't know how to proportion the talent wise. You've got Seth. I mean, like you've got great talent there, but you don't have star power, is what I mean. So, like I said, the two biggest things in the company right now, LA Knight and Roman Reigns, are on SmackDown. So, like, which is cool, but one of those guys should be on Raw. Like, you should put LA Knight on Raw. Or LA Knight should go to Raw now that he's done with Roman Reigns or whatever. I don't know. But there's got to be something because there's no.
So how do we get each other to the respective shows? Let's fast forward down the line a little bit. It's not on the list, but I'm going to ask you a question here. So we're in agreement that Cody Rhodes and Roman Reigns, that's WrestleMania all day, right?
Yep.
All right. So how do we get Cody Rhodes to SmackDown to challenge for that championship? Is he going back-to-back Royal Rumble winners?
No.
How do we get there?
Well, maybe he does. I don't know. But what's interesting to me is Cody Rhodes pulled some strings to get Jay drafted to Raw.
Traded or signed.
Traded.
Well, no, it was a trade. It was a trade. So does Cody Rhodes get traded to SmackDown? For LA Knight, perhaps?
Did they ever? Oh no, they announced that Kevin Owens was the
Kevin Owens was the trade. So
why did Cody trade? Why did Cody initiate a trade for Jay and Kevin? That's just goofy.
The whole story was to give this guy a chance. He needs to be away from the bloodline. I believe in second chances. He's a good person, blah, 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 rub his penis, the whole nine. Like, who cares? But what I'm saying is you got to get Cody Rhodes to Roman Reigns. Now, do you waste another, not necessarily waste stop, man. Not necessarily waste, because winning the Royal Rumble is a big deal. So I don't want to say waste, but do you give Cody a back-to-back Royal Rumble win to get to him? Or do you do this trade, even though technically Cody Rhodes could just walk on to SmackDown because they don't give a fuck. Sorry, I have to throw that jab in every time I say it. Anyway, no. But do you do the trade, and do you trade for someone like the likes of LA Knight? Because Cody is a big deal person. LA Knight is a big deal person. And then you open the door for LA Knight and whoever the World Heavyweight Champion is at WrestleMania, and you give LA Knight a WrestleMania moment, and Cody Rhodes gets his rematch at Roman Reigns to finish the story.
I don't know. But whoever wins the Royal Rumble, I don't know. Like I said, I don't know. I don't know.
Or do you give the Royal Rumble W to LA Knight? Yeah.
But who's that? I mean, LA Knight would go after Seth then?
Yes.
Yeah.
100%. Yes. It's the only way he's going to get a World Heavyweight Championship. Or he's going to get I'm sorry. That is the World Heavyweight Championship. It's the only way he's going to get a World Championship is if he goes for the other championship.
I'll tell you why. Like, I'll tell you the only thing that would like, because I like the ideas and I like that, kind of thinking of a different way to do it. But the only reason I think that Cody has to win the Royal Rumble again is because it's the same thing as like, to me, in my mind, now this is my opinion, if you win a title shot, why wouldn't you go after the best? You know what I mean? I know they don't want us to look at the World Heavyweight Championship as a secondary title, but we do look at the World Heavyweight Championship as a second title.
Unfortunately, it is a second title. It will always be a second title. That's just what it is. What do you got, dude?
Sorry.
What's going on here?
I'm in my garage.
All right. The World Heavyweight Championship will always be a second title no matter what you want to do. Why was it created? Because no one's going to beat Roman Reigns except Cody Rhodes. And even if that's a possibility, because now we see the records and it's not going to be broken. So who knows at this point? But the World Heavyweight Championship will always be the second title, unfortunately. It's always going to be that way, no matter what. No matter how prestigious you think Seth Rollins is making it or anybody else, it always will be the consolation prize because these guys did not beat Roman Reigns. So they needed another championship because they couldn't beat Roman Reigns. That's what it is. This fucking guy.
1,000%. Sorry. I'm in my garage and I think there's a mouse in here, so I'm like freaking out.
Yeah, you'll be all right.
Yeah.
If you get bit, you'll be fine. Don't worry about it.
What the fuck, dude?
Just guard your dick and call it a day. You're good.
As long as I don't get bit in the dick.
There you go. That's all it is. But yeah, that's just what it is, dude. At the end of the day, you can say all you want that Seth Rollins has had the Workman's Championship. It's the greatest championship. We need a guy that's there all the time, blah, 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 this and that, whatever. It will always be a second tier championship. That's all it is.
Agreed. But like obviously they don't look at it that way, or they don't want to present it that way. But here's my thing. As you just mentioned, we all kind of look at it that way, right?
Right.
Well, in my mind, if you win Money in the Bank or you win the Royal Rumble, you should go after the best title, the best champion, blah, blah, blah. And it's just weird. Like it makes, to me, Money in the Bank and Royal Rumble is to like further a person's position with their star power or to create a new star, right? You're doing that person a disservice if they don't challenge the WWE Undisputed Champion, which I hate it that they call it the Undisputed Championship, because obviously with the World Heavyweight title, see, that's what I'm saying. Like they've done everything they can to make me go, yeah, that title's not serious. Like you call it the Undisputed Universal Championship. Instead of just calling it the WWE Universal Championship, you call it the Undisputed. And it's like, dude, if it's undisputed, then you've literally taken a dump on that World Heavyweight title. Anyways, I digress. My thing is, if you win Royal Rumble or you win Money in the Bank, you should be going after the WWE title. That's how it is in my mind. Especially like the Royal Rumble. Like you want a big WrestleMania moment. Why would you go like, the World Heavyweight Championship is not going to main event 9-2 of WrestleMania. So why would you go after the World Heavyweight Championship if you win the Royal Rumble? Right? So I don't know. Like I said, there is just no way in my mind I see somebody winning Royal Rumble this year and going, I'm not going after Roman in his 1,000-day, 1,500-day title reign or whatever it is. I'm going to go after Seth Rollins and the World Heavyweight Championship. I can't see that happening. If it does, cool, whatever, watch the show play out, I guess. But if Cody, if you're trying to convince us of Cody and Roman on a crash course to WrestleMania 40, it's got to be Cody again. And I think the only and I don't, because don't get me wrong, I want Cody and Roman at WrestleMania 40. I want Cody to win. I want Cody to finish the story. I think that's the right call. I think it's the right call over. The only two right calls to me to beat Roman were Seth and Cody. And since you went ahead and created a title to give to Seth, I think it should be Cody that defeats Roman. That's what I think. And I think the only way to do it, or I think how they are going to do it, which is kind of cliche and kind of blah, is instead of him coming out at 29, which pissed everybody off last year, they're going to have him come out at like 2 or 5 this year. And it's going to be like, oh my God, because last year it was, oh, Cody came out at 29. He didn't earn it, blah, blah, blah. He was gone in injury. And then his first match back as the Royal Rumble, he comes out at 29 and he just, blah, blah, blah. That was the big complaint I heard last year from everybody. Rikishi at WrestleCon was like, Cody's not beating Roman because nobody believes that Cody's earned it, right? So the Quiche doesn't think it's going to happen. A lot of Roman fans didn't want that to happen. Even fans that weren't interested or weren't happy about Roman winning at WrestleMania were like, we just don't think it's going to happen because Cody didn't earn it. This is WWE's way of saying, well, look, now we made him earn it. They let him, they had him go through hard times through this year, fighting Brock Lesnar and all these different matches. He gets the rub from Brock Lesnar at the end of the feud. He's having a fight off the Judgment Day and he's having to, do war games. And now he's going to come in at the Royal Rumble at number 5 or number 4. And he's going to go through and outlast everybody and win. And it's going to be cliche, but I'm cool with it. Cause like I said, I want Cody and Roman at WrestleMania. But I just think that their outlook on it, how they're trying to get to that point, I think is going to be very predictable. And I think a lot of fans are going to be kind of like, ugh, that's my opinion.
I agree. All right, let's move on. Before we move on to AEW, unless you have anything else you want to say about WWE.
No.
It is draft time. We have not had a draft in seems like 5 years.
Oh shit, are we actually going to draft?
We are going to draft. It's going to be a simple draft. We've been doing build your own promotion, but since we've been kind of out of it, what we're going to do, since Survivor Series is here, we are going to do a Survivor Series War Games draft. Catches, you have to draft, or you can only draft one person per promotion. So we're going to pick from New Japan, WWE, Impact, and AEW. One person from each promotion for a Survivor Series themed draft. Sound good?
Repeat that again.
Survivor Series team draft. You
Okay.
choose one wrestler from each promotion. You can't choose multiple wrestlers from one promotion. So New Japan Pro Wrestling, WWE, Impact, and AEW. Those are the only 4 companies you could use. One person from each company. Sound good?
Okay. All right, that's fine.
All right. What is this? What is this guy typing? So can we pop this up? What is this? So instead of Cody winning the Royal Rumble, we got to give Gunther to run at it. Oh, here we go. Thank you. Run it back against Seth to avenge his loss in 2019, or even to LA Knight to book a megastar clash between the two. And then Cody goes and does an exchange for himself and Kevin to reunite. Well, that's a lot of reading. Sammy and Kevin on Raw, and Cody goes to SmackDown and announces that he is fighting in the Elimination Chamber and ends up winning to go and goes to WrestleMania and beats Roman. It's one way to do it. It's a lot of reading.
Well, like I said, it is, and there's nothing wrong with that way. It's just, to me, I feel like if you win Royal Rumble, it would be silly to go, why would I?
Chase is gonna die, ladies and gentlemen.
Bro. Listen, I don't know listen, if anybody is new to watching this show, or if you're not new to watching the show, maybe you don't know me that well. I ain't scared of shit. Okay. I will fight a lion, tiger, and a bear.
Dude, it's on your titles. It's on your titles. It's on your titles. It's on your titles. Turn around.
No, it's not. Yeah, no, it's not. But anyways, what I'm saying is that I don't do mice, snakes, and rats. And I feel like this mouse is right here in this box on the floor because I saw that shit moving. Anyways, what were we talking about?
Survivor Series theme draft. Let's get it going.
Okay.
One per major promotion. New Japan Pro Wrestling, Impact, WWE, AEW. One person per promotion. That's it.
That's goofy.
Team of 4. Quick draft. Dude, this guy, do you want to like go on a commercial break? Like, what is going on?
I want this mouse to get out of this box, dude.
Oh my god, dude. Man up.
God.
Man up.
Better shut the fuck up.
Man the fuck up.
Anyways, who's going first?
You could go.
All right. So does it matter? Like, do I have to pick in order, or can I just choose automatically from whichever pool I want?
Whatever. Just remember which promotion you use. That's it. It doesn't matter.
Okay. I'm picking WWE and I'm picking Roman Reigns. That's my number one pick.
Well, that's fucking lame. All right, Roman Reigns. I'm going to Japan.
I play to win the draft.
Okay. I'm going to Japan and I'm going Will Ospreay.
Okay. Great choice. I'm going
so no more WWE.
No more WWE. I'm going AEW and I'm going Switchblade, Jay White.
Jay White. Okay. Jay White. That's a good pick. That's a good pick. I am going Impact, and I'm going the Walking Weapon, who you interviewed, I might add. Go check that out on
Absolutely.
There you go.
Absolutely. On the I-70 hot tag, we had old what's his name? Josh Alexander.
Josh Alexander, old what's his name? Are you kidding me?
I know, right? It's my turn to pick, isn't it?
Yep. So New Japan or Impact for you now.
Okay.
Alex, I don't know if he's happy over here. He's saying, "Damn, bruh, like are those bad picks or those good picks? What's going on?"
I don't know. He said he was going to pick, and he hasn't said anything yet. So,
all right, go ahead. You got Impact, and you got New Japan.
Wait. Oh, I've got Impact and New Japan to choose from. Gotcha. I was like, wait a second.
Yeah.
I know. I was kind of like there for a second. I was like, wait. I thought I picked a WWE and whatnot. Okay, let's go. If we're going Impact, give me Jonathan Gresham.
Really?
Yeah.
All 5, 6 of them. Jonathan Gresham, all 5, 6 of the Octopus. You got it. We're going to go WWE, and I'm going to go Seth freaking Rollins.
Who do I have left? I have New Japan, don't I?
New Japan, that's it. And I got AEW.
I don't know who from New Japan I could pick.
Kazuchika Okada, like you got a whole bunch.
Shut up, fucker. I'm trying to think of who I would want though.
I got the only one that matters.
I have two guys that I want to pick, but I have a whole plethora of people. Okay, I think I'm going to do it. I think I'm going. I know the smart choice, but I also know who I want. So what do you think I should do? Do you think I should do who I want or who the smart choice would be?
I'm always about having fun. Choose who you want.
All right, I'm going Eddie Kingston.
Eddie Kingston works for AEW, sir.
He is the strong open weight champion for New Japan.
But
That's fine.
Who is he
That's
employed by? Who is he employed by?
Okay, that's fine. That's fine. That's fine. Give me Zack Sabre Jr.
That's a good one. That's a good one.
So, like I said, that was the smart choice. Who I wanted was Eddie Kingston, but you
Now, should I go the greatest of all time, Chris Jericho, or should I just go with the obvious choice here? What should we do? Let's go. Let's just round out this powerhouse of a team that just demolishes your team in Survivor Series. Let's just go with the AEW World Champion, the true AEW World Champion. Let's go MJF.
I think with Roman Reigns, I think I beat you.
You don't even like Roman Reigns. Chris Sabin, Cody Rhodes, Kenta. That's a good pick. And the American Dragon, Bryan Danielson. That's a good team. Won't beat my team, but that's a good team.
That is.
All right, so you guys let us know. Chase with his Survivor Series team. He's got Roman Reigns, Jay White, the 5'6" Jonathan Gresham, the Octopus, and Zack Sabre Jr., which is arguably his best pick. I got Will Ospreay, Josh Alexander, Seth Rollins, and MJF. We are better than you, and we know it. Who wins?
You're an idiot.
Drop it in the chat. All right, moving on.
Adam Copeland and AEW, since you and I didn't get to talk about it, I know there was a lot of people in attendance for that, but what do you think? Did you think, let me ask you something. Did you think when they gave Edge his flowers, they let him have that final match on SmackDown. He got that moment with Sheamus. Did you think that he was leaving?
Nah, leaving WWE or leaving like professional wrestling?
WWE.
Yeah, he was gone. It was a wrap. That was it.
I mean, professional wrestling. I mean, like, did you think that was really like the last time we were going to see him? Did you really think he was going to go to AEW?
I think he was, just because Christian's there. I thought he wants to end it with Christian. I think it was only a matter of time. I mean, he was gonna go there before he went back to the WWE. It was a wrap. I just think that it was for him to get in this feud so quickly with Christian. I don't know what's going on, because to my understanding, he signed a multi-year deal with AEW. So I mean, it's not a 1-year deal. To answer Alex's question from earlier, if it's just a 1-year deal, 1-year thing, it's not, because he did sign a multi-year deal with AEW. Don't know how long multi-year means. Could be just 2 years, could be 5 years. Who fucking knows? But I thought for sure he was AEW bound. There was no doubt in my mind he was going anywhere else, and there wasn't a doubt in my mind he was retiring, because he wants to do it one last time with Christian. So I think that's what's going to happen. Maybe one last final tag team run. Maybe they give them the championships, maybe not. I mean, they're definitely more capable in having a tag team title run as opposed to the Dudleys or the Hardys. That's for sure, because, Tony Khan bringing in his childhood heroes in there. But I think that was the play overall for Adam. So it was not a shocker to me whatsoever.
Why that pointless dig? Why?
It wasn't pointless. I love that they're there. I'm just saying. They're just more capable of actually being champions than me and believable. Right now, the Hardys, I mean, I love them to death. They're my number 2 tag team of all time. But I think it's a wrap, unfortunately, man. It's just...
I do too. But I also think that there's a lot of people that think they can still go, which is why the company probably is still trying to push them out there so much. I love it, man. Like I said, I think it brings a new, like what you saw with Saraya, Bryan Danielson. It just, like, when they walked in AEW, it kind of brings like a new, just a new change of scenery. It's always nice to have that. It's not necessarily saying like, hey, like, I hate this place, I want to quit it, but at the same time, you know, you kind of look around and you're like, okay, I've done everything I want to do here. Maybe it is maybe it is time to try something new. And I think that I think that works out for you know, especially those three people.
I just think it's just too early in regard. I mean, who knows? I think it's just too early in regard for him going with the whole Christian feud. I would like to see him come and do, like you said, change the scenery, fresh feuds while he still is a singles superstar. You know what I'm saying? You know, maybe feud with MJF, feud with other top stars of the company, maybe put other people over and then end it with Christian. But coming right out the gate with Christian, it kind of questions what the direction is going with Adam at this point. So
Agreed.
Yeah.
Agreed. But I'll tell you what, they did a really good job of, in the short period of time, of taking what Christian was doing with the TNT championship and pushing him to the main event to prepare him for, because like my thing is like, is Edge really going to show up in AEW and during a mid-card segment? Like, that's what I was kind of like. But in the short period of time that, like, we heard the rumblings of Edge going to AEW and then All In, they managed to turn that TNT championship and Christian into a main event automatically, to where I didn't question, you know, Christian being in the main event. I wasn't like, you know, is this really the right call?
Until Christian got that championship, when has the TNT championship been the main event of a show? Can you tell me?
Well, when Cody Rhodes was there.
That's it. That is it. That is it. Everything after, open the show, middle of the squash match, when Wardlow will have it, every freaking title defense was a squash match. He elevated that shit immediately.
Yeah.
Immediately.
Agreed. You know, we there's obviously, like, you know, we question, is you know, Edge's last year, right? Well, obviously, you know, like you mentioned, the contract he signed is a multi-year contract, so we would assume this isn't. Bryan Danielson just recently announced that this was his final year, his final go at being a full-time competitor. He didn't rule out, or he didn't say retirement, so to speak, but he did say, like, hey, as a full-time competitor, like, this is my last run. One that is, or that was, you know, kind of easy to see, or we saw the writing on the wall, so to speak, because he's in his 60s, is Sting. Sting announced that he will finish up his career in AEW at Revolution. Now Revolution is normally end of February, beginning of March. I was looking all over when he did announce it. I don't know if they have announced it yet, but I was looking when they did announce that he would make Revolution his last event. I went to go see if it was posted online anywhere where or when Revolution was going to be. It doesn't have a 2024 date at the time. Like I said, it's been a few weeks, but Sting coming to AEW and it being Sting's last run. Who do you think Sting's final opponent is going to be?
Man, I ask myself that all the time. It's who can you put him in there that's going to be emotional? I feel like it has to be an emotional and a good send-off. I don't think you put him in a match against like MJF or, you know, any up-and-coming star. I think it has to be some type of an emotional callback, in my opinion.
It's easy. It's very easy. I wouldn't say a callback, but
I would say Chris Jericho.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think Chris Jericho takes the L, of course, in the final match. And I think because that match never got to happen, and I don't want it to be Darby as much as I love Darby, because he hates Darby. I love Darby. I don't want it to be Darby. I don't think Darby deserves that, to be totally honest with you.
I think it is Darby. I think
it
the
is
only call. I think it's the only call. Because, I mean, other than Chris Jericho, who else?
I don't know, man. You're right. I think Chris Jericho to me makes sense, not because I love Chris Jericho. I'm leaving this out of it. I just think because they got to have the match. I thought we were going to get that match in London. We didn't get it. I think that would make more sense to me. Something that never happened to icons, to legends, and let that go out because realistically, even though Sting's given it his all, he's not going to give us a 5-star match with another up-and-coming guy. I don't want to see Darby because they're trying to pass the torch to Darby. I'm starting to get a little sour on Darby now, too. It's taking me a couple years, but I'm getting, of him getting thrown around every single match and then winning. That win against Lance Archer last week was just asinine, but I digress. But I just think it has to be Chris Jericho to me. But what makes the most sense is what you guys are all saying, and I agree with you, would be Darby.
Agreed. I love the Jericho call because I haven't really thought about it. I was just like, as soon as he announced Revolution was going to be his last, I was like, well, it's obviously Darby. And then when you said Jericho, I was like, I'd like that. I would like that a lot.
I think it'd be a lot better because both of them are on the tail end of the career. Jericho's not doing anything. Excuse me. Jericho's not doing anything with substance anymore. His Jericho Appreciation Society is gone. I mean, he's tagging with Omega here and there. But I mean, what is Jericho doing? I think to give Jericho something of meaning, I think, a nice month or two of build-up promos of the final match, the first ever match, I think that would be great. First and only match that they'll ever have. I think that would be great, and Jericho should take the L in that match and give Sting his send-off, and Ric Flair's wooing down the lane with him, So that's what I would do. But I think Darby
does Ric Flair have any involvement
in the match, like wrestling?
With that final match?
Maybe in some type of dirty tactics, but if I see that man suit up, I'm going to lose my mind.
I didn't ask if you wanted to see it. The question is, do you think, especially with the comments that he's made lately, do you think that we could see potentially a Sting and Flair team up in AEW?
I hope not.
Does Flair suit up anytime in the next year in AEW?
I'm gonna say no.
I would hopefully agree.
I'm gonna say no. I think, of course, he does maybe some type of dirty tactics, something to help Sting win here and there or whatever. Maybe cut a promo, whatever. But no.
Who?
Also, another question. What another? I'm sorry to cut you off. What were you gonna say?
No. I was gonna move on, but if you got another question, let's do it.
I got one more with this thing. So, would another viable opponent be Jeff Jarrett?
It's a possibility.
Would that be a good one? Jeff Jarrett did fight Ric Flair.
You did
in Nashville, right?
Yep.
So, he has history with WCW too, right?
Yep.
So would that
and Jarrett and Sting have a lot of history with TNA and Impact, and
right.
To be honest with you, I was never the hugest TNA fan. While him and his father were running it, obviously, I like it a lot better now that I'm older and I've gone back and watched some of that stuff. I'm able to appreciate it more. But if we're being completely honest, Jeff Jarrett and Jerry Jarrett gave Sting way more of an opportunity and a chance than WWE ever could. And in fact, if you go back and look at old Sting interviews of why he never went to WWE, it's almost like WWE held that in the back of their minds. Like Vince held that in the back of his mind of why Sting never went. And when Sting finally got there, he said, well, guess what? I'm going to do that to you now. Sting always, there's a not infamous, but there's an interview where Sting was asked, about going to WWE. And he made the comment that when he was watching TV, Booker T slid into the ring during the invasion and went face to face with The Rock. And The Rock was like, who the hell are you? And
who in the blue hell? Who
the blue hell are you? And Sting felt like that was WWE's way of saying yo, you were WCW, you were the bottom tier. And the reality is that Sting was a huge pivotal part of almost putting WWE out of business. So, it kind of felt like a disservice or, a very distasteful thing for Sting to go to WWE and be treated like that. And then he eventually he did. And I'm happy that he was able to finish out his career on his terms and how he wants to do it, rather than how WWE wanted him to do it. So, like I said, I'm glad you asked that question because yes, Jeff Jarrett is very much so could be an option, and I think would be a good option for Sting.
I think those three are the only options, unless you bring somebody else in, which would make zero sense. So,
Exactly. From here to, I mean, like unless you brought him in like next week,
yeah.
but I can't think of anybody bearing somebody like Lex Luger,
No.
who's not ring shape.
I think anybody that has TNA ties, so that would bring in even Samoa Joe. So Samoa Joe, Jeff Jarrett, and then we have Chris Jericho, and then the obvious choice with Darby Allin. I think those are the only possible guys that should give him the send off. And each one of those motherfuckers, if they end up facing him, should take an L and call it a day.
You think so? Or do you think Sting should take the L?
If it's Darby, Sting should take the L because it's someone coming up and passing of the torch, if you will.
Yeah,
all the other three, Chris Jericho, Samoa Joe, or Jeff Jarrett, they should all lose. Oh, Alex agrees with me. There you go. He should only take the loss to Darby. Everyone else he wins. That's it.
Well, I'm glad you brought up MJF because you have on here, and I'm not making fun of you, but I am making fun of you. You have on here MJF leaving AEW.
Mm-hmm.
MJF is never leaving AEW.
I hope not. I hope not.
Well, okay, I'm not going to say never because obviously it's the wrestling business, but the Great War of 2024 is a fallacy. It's a fake. It's a storyline.
It's officially Among Us. He's pulling the CM Punk storyline. I'm going to take my title, beat John Cena, and leave. And I think that's what we're doing here. We're doing the same situation. I agree.
I'm glad you brought up the CM Punk thing. We went back, or I brought up the whole Kang and Dr. Doom shaking hands. And since we're on MJF, I'll kind of combine these two.
Okay.
I'll kind of combine these two things that you got to talk about. Who's the devil? Or who's in the devil mask?
Man, I don't know. I don't know. I've seen some.
I think here's the obvious choice. The obvious choice is Jungle Boy.
Okay.
What if Jungle Boy is working with somebody?
Such as?
CM Punk.
See, I was just about to say, I'm like, are you one of those TikTok fucking conspirators that it's
no, I'm not. I don't think it's going to happen. I think it's very unlikely. But what if they did? I mean, like
that would be the greatest kayfabe type deal in 25 years if that happens.
I mean, like, so here's the thing. Yes, it would be super cool, right? I mean, because dude, Mark, the show is called Bad Booking. Like we're bad booking here, right?
Yeah, you're right.
But,
you're right.
And that would be bad booking. You know what I mean? You've got a guy.
I don't think it would be bad booking. I think it would be.
I think it would be horrible. I think it would be
amazing. I would love it.
Okay, you're right. I think it would be a major thing. But how long does it last? Because let's look at the reality here. The reality is that you've got a guy who started two backstage and didn't start, but he's involved in two very toxic, volatile situations backstage and has been pushed away from the company twice. And if for whatever reason Jungle Boy and CM Punk met up and had coffee somewhere and mended the fences, so to speak, and CM Punk comes back again after doing the same thing that he did last year, when do you start to look at it and go like, hey, it was cool that they did it, but maybe we should.
So here's the thing, and this is where I agree with Alex right now. So let's just say your bad booking's legit before, because I think it's who Alex is. I think that's exactly who it is. I think it's Adam Cole. I think it's Adam Cole and the Kingdom. That's what I think it is. because there's multiple guys. But let's just say that it's not who it is, right? You know, Adam Cole's having foot surgery, so very well could not be him, right?
Yep.
It's multiple guys. So if you do have your little fantasy of bad booking here of CM Punk and Jungle Boy, who are the other two? Because there's 4 of them attacking.
I don't think the other 4 are going to be pivotal
At all.
I think they're pawns. They're dummies. Like I think like once Jungle Boy, once Jack Perry takes off the mask, then, you know, like they kind of like look at that thing of, you know, and MJF almost tries to take credit for it, right? Like, oh, hey, like he learned from the devil himself. And then Jungle Boy's like, yeah, I did, but you weren't the devil I learned from. And it's revealed that it was CM Punk.
It would be great.
It would be.
I would love it, but I don't think this. I think the obvious play.
I think obviously for television and ratings it would be good, but for AEW as a whole, I think like once everybody went, oh my god, they were able to pull that off, and they were able to convince. But then like other people are going to start going, yeah, but didn't Punk do this already? Like, and how long do we have to wait before Phil Brooks causes another backstage incident and gets sent home again? Right. That's my only thing. Like I said, I think the obvious
ultimately, bro, anywhere CM Punk goes, it's gonna be, oh, this is great. How long until he's a backstage problem? No matter where he goes.
I just don't think that, because I think in WWE, he knows how WWE is. He knows I don't want to sound like one of those like WWE like robots, right? But the reality is, if he goes to WWE, he knows that he can't pull that shit with WWE. He can't get in. He can't like go to WWE and play the backstage politics like he's able to play at AEW. If he did, like I said, we're all going off of hearsay, right? So I just don't think that I think that he knows for a fact that he couldn't pull some of that stuff in WWE and get away with it. So that's why if he goes, yes, of course you're going to have people going, well, how long until Triple H says that, or Triple H is sick and tired of his shit and kicks him out? But I just don't think that's an issue. But I do think it is if he goes to AEW, because obviously like AEW and WWE are ran completely different. You're dealing with Tony Khan and Tony Khan alone, where at WWE you're dealing with multiple agents, multiple levels of hierarchy, whatnot. So it's 2 different things. I like Alex's idea if the main devil is Shawn Spears, but I've looked at that guy. I've looked at him and he just looks too small. That's why I think it would be, if Adam Cole didn't have to have surgery, I think it would be Adam Cole or Jungle Boy. They're just too small to me to be.
The thing is, at the end of the day, yeah, Adam Cole is having surgery, but I mean, it's a story, right? You could put anybody in that mask and be like, yeah, it was me all along. I never had surgery. I mean, it doesn't matter. But if you remember a few weeks ago, if you've been watching consistently, when Adam Cole and MJF were sitting in the locker room, the devil mask was in Adam Cole's locker in the back. So it wasn't above. So if we were sitting right next to each other, right? If MJF was right here, it was behind me. That's where it was. So it's just little things like that which make it obvious to me. And I think it's truly Adam Cole in the Kingdom with Roddy. I think at the end of the day, that's what it is. Next strong, baby.
Punch him in the wiener. I need that shirt, bro. I need that shirt. Punch him in the wiener and then give him a pile driver or whatever. I forgot what it's called, but
yeah, we'll get a little baby shirt. Punch him in the wiener for that little rat that's fucking in your garage somewhere.
Bro, don't fuck. Don't do that. I don't think he's in the garage somewhere. I know exactly where he's at. I think he's in this little box right here, because I've heard it move like 4 times. Anyways, who teams up with MJF at Full Gear?
It's got to be Samoa Joe.
Okay. If What if whoever teams up with MJF at Full Gear is who's hiding under the devil mask?
Personally, like I said, because you already know my stance on it, it can't be anybody that's hiding under the devil mask. I think it's someone. It could be somebody with. I don't think it's Adam Cole. I think Adam Cole's the guy under the devil mask. That's who is going to be revealed, whenever he's ready to come back. So I think, yeah, maybe it could be somebody from who am I talking about here? The Kingdom. Maybe even Roddy might even tag with him. But I think ultimately is Samoa Joe. I think the writing's on the wall there, and in turn will be some MJF's next opponent after that. I think it'll be MJF and Samoa Joe immediately after. So I think that's what's going to be. You?
I don't know. I don't have a clue.
But it's gotta be. Samoa Joe relinquished the title, which was crazy to me. He relinquished the ROH TV Championship. Crazy. He's been stalking MJF, talking about, hey, if you need me, I will help you, but I get a title shot if I help you. He's running out of friends. I think it's Samoa Joe. He's going to have no choice at this point unless someone from the Kingdom or Roddy help him. There's nobody else.
Yeah, so the only thing I would say is whoever
or
it
Max
is.
Caster. Sorry, or Max Caster.
I think whoever it is revealed to be the devil later that night during the match between him and Jay White.
Okay.
I think whoever it is reveals himself to be the devil later that night.
Okay. We shall see.
We shall. Other than that, you got anything that you really, really like about Full Gear?
Not at the moment. I mean, I do like what was it? Is House of Black going after the tag team championships at Full Gear? Or is that next week? I forget.
I think that's next week because yeah, they're not I mean, I'm looking at the card, obviously card subject to change, but they're not on the card for.
So who do we got on the card for Full Gear so far?
Oh, wait, yeah. Ricky Starks and Big Bill, who are the champions, to face Rush and Jalisco, FTR, and the Kings of the Black Throne, which is Malachi Black.
I am intrigued for the Hangman Adam Page Swerve Strickland feud. I thought that feud has been great.
I think it has too. Yep.
I just don't like that AEW always has to put a death match into it. So I mean,
yeah.
I understand. I understand how he's got under Hangman's skin by going to his family and all that, and he just wants an all-out brawl. But I feel like their
lights out, steel cage. Yeah, lights out, steel cage. Would have, in my opinion, I agree with you. In my opinion, I think it would have played out a lot better than something like that. Yeah.
So I am intrigued in that story. So that would be a great match in Full Gear because I think Swerve Strickland's a fucking star, dude. Like, put a title on that man. Like,
I agree.
He's arguably one of my favorites in AEW right now. Like every time he comes on, I'm glued to the TV. I'm like, what's gonna do next? And I mean, who's not doing the Nana dance? You know what I'm saying?
All the time, bro.
You know what I'm saying?
All the time. I got that shit on repeat on my headphones.
Fucking hysterical, bro.
You had a couple little side things to talk about here that I wanna
quick hits.
Yeah, well, I wouldn't call them quick hits because there's a couple things I do want to talk about. We'll do the Ospreay as a quick hit. Where do you think Will Ospreay lands?
AEW.
Does Ospreay land somewhere?
No, he's going to AEW. That's where he's going.
You think so?
Guarantee it. I don't think he's going to WWE. I don't think WWE and him are going to agree. I don't think he wants to go there. I don't think he goes to Impact. He's working shows on Impact, but I think right now he goes to AEW. I think AEW needs Will Ospreay to get more star power on that show consistently. and I think Tony Khan's going to make the push to bring him there.
I could see. I don't agree with you about the WWE thing. If you watch the interview he did with Chris Van Vliet just a few months ago, he mentioned that the big match like that everybody would want to see and that he would want to see as well would be him and Seth.
I mean, yeah, he says that shit. So he can have the bidding war of 2024 for himself.
Of course.
Come on.
NWA, you signs 2 TV deals. Now, if I apologize, I have not been keeping up with the dirt sheets as much as I should have. Does NWA still have their TV deal?
I don't know now because
pretty sure they got fucked out of it.
I'm pretty sure too. I put that prior to WWE moving to the CW.
Okay, so
yeah.
For anybody watching and for yourself as well, if you're not too privy on it, and if you can fill in any blanks that I have, go ahead and do so, my friend. But here's how it happened. NWA, Billy Corgan has been working up trying to get NWA on TV because right now the only way you can watch NWA is on YouTube or on Fight TV. And you pay a subscription for it. So good stuff for the most part. I think they they faced a lot of criticism over the Tyrus thing, because Tyrus is huge right wing and he's on Fox News, etc. I really didn't think it was that big of a deal as long as you kept the politics out of it. Anybody who has watched Bad Booking in the past knows that we were so graciously not interrupted, but joined by Pollo Del Mar, who worked for NWA and is open about their sexuality and is a drag queen on NWA, if you're not familiar with it. And they even said themselves, like Tyrus, like regardless of what you feel about Tyrus personally, like when Tyrus is in the building, Tyrus is professional, etc. So, all that around, Billy Corgan has been trying to get them a TV deal. He lands with the CW. They've already announced their deal. They're about to, go like really public with it. And then NWA on pay-per-view, or not pay-per-view, but like one of their shows you have to pay for. James Mitchell, who used to be the manager of Mortis in WCW and was the manager of Abyss in TNA, did a cocaine spot on the show. And CW said because of that, they were going to pull NWA and that they were going to look at putting NWA on the CW app. Then a couple weeks go by of that whole like debacle and drama unfolding, and WWE announces that NXT has a deal with CW. That's very weird to me, and I'll tell you why. Are you familiar with Major League Wrestling?
Yes.
Okay.
And the whole
Major League.
Yep.
Yep. Major League Wrestling had a deal with Amazon, who is owned by Fox, and they were going to be on like a Prime. They were going to have like their own Prime channel with MLW. And they were going to have a channel on like, I think like Tubi or whatever. One of those programs that is one of those like live TV programs that is sub-owned by Amazon, which is owned by Fox, or partnered with Fox. I don't know if they're actually owned by Fox or not. Anyways, MLW had filed a lawsuit against WWE because there was talk that Stephanie McMahon and WWE had talked Amazon into pulling out of that deal with MLW because of their big deal with Fox and SmackDown. Now that lawsuit didn't go anywhere, and that doesn't mean anything because people settle out of court all the time on lawsuits. However, I just find it very odd that if you are talking to the NWA about a partnership and announcing a deal, and then all of a sudden you pull out of that deal, and less than 2 weeks later, you're announcing a deal with WWE, something doesn't smell right there.
I agree.
Like I said, I don't know if I don't have my facts straight, but something's not right there. Plus, like you're going to announce a deal with WWE who until last week was second majority. I don't know how you would say that. I don't know the top business term for that, because obviously Endeavor is the majority owner of WWE now, but the second majority owner was Vince McMahon until this week. And you're willing to, because somebody did a fake cocaine spot on a show that probably 400 people saw. I'm being a dick, but I mean, not that many people.
You're right.
Not that many people saw, and you're going to pull out of the deal, but then you're going to announce a big deal with WWE and what's going on with it. I don't know. It seemed like a coy. It seemed like an excuse. It seemed like they were fishing for a reason to say, we don't really like this deal with NWA, but we really like this deal with WWE and NXT. I think we're going to go with that. That's what it sounded like to me. And when you had that on there, I was like, man, that would be really cool to talk about, because I want to.
No, I agree, man. I mean, the history with the MLW, it's there. You see all these reports in there, and then this coming at, it is fucked up. And I truly believe something happened there, man.
I do too. I think that they were looking for any little excuse they could to claim that they wanted to pull out of that deal. And when they were like, I don't even think anybody at CW saw that cocaine spot. I think they probably heard about it online or on Twitter, and somebody made a phone call.
I feel like they made it more exposure than it originally had. If they would have just been like, "Oh, that happened. All right, yeah, whatever," no one would have fucking knew. But then since it's all coming out, be like, "Hey, we're pulling out of this deal, and here's why." Now you're getting there more views than they had all over in the YouTube channel anyway.
Yeah, agreed. I like I said, I think it's fishy, and I think it was CW's way of saying we don't really want to go through with this deal. WWE wants to do business with us. We want to go do business with WWE. Do you think he will get a new theme, or do you think it'll be a Cody type of thing and they buy his theme and everything? Who are we talking about?
Will Ospreay. I think if he does go to WWE, I think they just give him a new theme. I mean, it really doesn't matter. He's not Cody Rhodes. I mean, don't get me wrong, he's a huge star. I'm not saying he's not a huge star, but he's not Cody Rhodes. So.
Yeah. And no offense to Will, but like his theme song is not Cody Rhodes' theme song. Like Cody's like Kingdom. Yeah, Kingdom is part of Cody Rhodes. Like you couldn't bring Cody Rhodes back as the American Nightmare and not have Kingdom as his theme song.
Agreed. I mean, when they brought in AJ Styles, he had a new song. So I mean, doesn't matter.
Impact rebrands to TNA. Let's talk about this real quick, and then let's say goodnight to everybody.
I like it. Like Chase said earlier, he was not that big of a big fan of TNA, but I loved TNA in the 2010s. I mean, it was very entertaining. It was my favorite show back in the 2010s. I mean, I watched that more than I did WWE. So I think it's good. I think Impact is a great show that hopefully a lot more people start watching again. And yeah, I mean, I'm excited for it. TNA is better than Impact Wrestling, in my opinion. Well, I'm always with the acronyms: NWA, TNA, AEW, New Japan, all that stuff. So I mean, I like it. As long as they don't bring back the stupid six-sided ring, I'm all for it.
Man, I was really hoping they were going to, but
you like it? I wasn't a fan, man. That was the only thing I didn't like about TNA. I was like, it was cool, like when it first came, and I was like, it's like whatever.
That was one of my favorite things about them. Obviously, like my thing with TNA was I just didn't like. It was really hard for me to get into because I was such a Jeff Jarrett hater. And like it's weird now because like I go back and watch and like all of it was great and all of it was entertaining. Even the stuff with Jeff Jarrett, it was just at the time, I was young and thought I was so smart to the business, and God, I only liked that
would be better.
Real yeah. Yeah, I mean, like, I don't care. It doesn't matter to me. I'm okay with the traditional ring. I'm okay with the six-sided ring. I just thought maybe that was going to be something they were going to do was like bring back the six-sided ring.
I mean,
Because other than that,
bring that to Fountain City, bro.
no way, Jose. already bought the force or the square ring. I don't feel like making another. God, I don't even know. Can you buy a 6-sided ring?
Oh, there you go. Now he's looking. He's like, you know what? Maybe
Now I'm looking.
I don't know.
Now I'm looking.
Anyway, but yeah, I think TNA is good. I think they're in the right direction. I think if you guys are looking for something out of the big mainstream, even though I consider Impact mainstream, I think you guys should start watching it. I mean, their stories are very good. Wrestling's very good matches. Yeah, Impact's up there for me right now. I've been watching a lot more Impact, a lot consistently, and I'm really glad to have them go back to 2010s TNA Impact.
All right. Yes, agreed.
All right.
So now the same place that I bought my ring from, they have octagons for like MMA fights, but I have not seen an octagon.
Well, an octagon is 8.
Oh, my bad.
Oct 8.
Yes.
Octagon.
Yes.
Okay.
But I do not see a 6-sided ring.
Anyway, all right. So let's close this up. This has been a great show. I'm glad to be back with you. Hopefully, we'll be there. Let's do 2 weeks in a row again.
Yes, great. Absolutely. We'll do same time next week. Sunday evenings. Mark and I were talking about this before we went live. The goal is to consistently run every Sunday. Now, obviously, with sports and football, I'm a huge Kansas City Chiefs fan. I go to the home games, season ticket holder. Obviously, if there is a Sunday night game that involves the Chiefs in prime time, what we'll probably do is we'll probably move it to the Saturday before. Or if there's a big pay-per-view, maybe we'll do the Saturday as well, just to kind of do like a post show with it. But we have options now that Mark has 2 days off in a row, so that's why it gives us a little bit of flexibility and options to do that. Saturday and Sunday are his days off. So, and Mark can help hold me accountable and help honor our commitment to doing this every week. So look for us same time next week, 9:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. And that's what it'll be every Sunday. So check Mark out on Mark. Where can everybody find you on social media, sir?
All social medias. We're doing a lot of wrestling pack openings. If you guys are interested in that, come check me out. Be good. We're pulling a lot of good stuff. I'm having real good fun with it. Opening a lot of retro cards too. Got WCW cards coming out this week, so look for that. Otherwise, you just find me for Bad Booking on Sundays, hopefully.
Absolutely. And then, all the social medias are the same. CR Media 1988. Obviously not posting a whole lot of content on there, but there is all my other ventures that you can follow by following me at CR Media 1998 or 1988. Sorry. Like the I-70 hot tag, like this show and whatever else we are doing and we have going on. So, Mark, if you don't have anything else, man, I think I'm good to close this out, and we're good to say goodnight, right?
That's it.
All right. Well, just in case, just in case you were wondering, I didn't have time to make us an outro, but I've got this really cool one that I've kept in the vault, and I figured what better way than to say, have a good night, ladies and gentlemen.